Hi, welcome to come to our channel. Today we're going to talk about the challenge in well, I'm just the challenge in our relationship. All right.
Okay, is that what it's about?
It's about like I'm Chinese. I'm actually native Chinese. I was born in China and I came to England when I was about to go to high school. So when I was about 16, 17
You mean college?
that time. Yeah. But in China, it's called high school.
In China, it's high school.
Then in between, there was a secondary school. So I
click this
graduated.
video. You're thinking to yourself, hey, those guys are good looking.
Right?
I wonder if my baby will be good looking.
Our baby is well cute, actually.
Our baby is amazing.
Yeah.
We have a baby. And guess what? That baby's good looking. He's a good looking baby. Because, when you mix races, it just turns out really well. It turns out really
Not always, right?
What? Think of a race that doesn't. White and black.
Well, baby is always like.
If you mix
cute,
like a Thai with Chinese, there isn't much difference, is it? It still looks like an Oriental kid.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about mixing like races,
right, okay.
like
a bit
always
far,
works out well.
A bit far away.
Yeah, opposite genes always create positivity.
Okay. Let me give my background.
You carry on.
So my background is I'm actually from China, and before I come to England, I spoke a little bit English, but it wasn't really that excellent. So I've been in England for quite a long time now. So I met him. He's like, he born in Manchester and he grew up in Manchester. So he's native.
Hey, I'm a local guy.
He's very local,
I'm
right?
Local dude.
Before that, I never thought to myself, yeah, I want to marry to a English person. That's not what I thought.
No.
But I met you.
She was only interested in yellow people.
Yellow people? All right. You mean Chinese? I mean, yellow people like minions from Despicable Me. Since when I'm interested in them.
You were only interested in minions.
Yeah, you actually do look like them.
Hey, me? No, I look like the abominable snowman.
Snowman.
Yeah, like white guy.
That's not really
so you guys have clicked this
point.
video and thinking, I really want my interracial relationship to work. Will it work? Well, there's some things that you need to overcome. Okay, first of all,
any relationship,
yeah, overcome your own prejudice to other races. Yeah, if you want to know about nationalism and all that stuff, go to a previous video. On this video, we're talking about interracials and whether it'll work. Now, it can work. You have to consider yourself, your partner, potential partner, and you also need to consider your families. Because your families can be a big hurdle for your success in your relationship.
The family can be a big hurdle in any relationship, not just the interracial.
It could be, but you're gonna get
racism.
You're gonna get it
probably
twofold.
Get in the way.
You're gonna get it twofold with foreign parents, because you're gonna also have language barriers, culture barriers, currency barriers, country barriers, distance and that. So there's a lot involved. If I just went and found a white girl from England, it'd be a lot more simple in some ways, because you got to think, well, my parents would probably be more accepting. Yeah. She's already got security and foundation in this country. She's probably got a job and whatever. So there's other things that add to it. Yeah. So you've got to consider your family. You've got to consider what country you're going to live in. Yeah. I mean, so for example, with me and Ricky, right? I live in England.
We're in England at the moment.
Ricky came to live in England, and now she's stayed in England. She's not even gone back to China because of me. So if you're going into a relationship with some other guy, are you going to stay in the relationship in his country, or is she going to go to your country? What's going on? Where are you going to live?
Yeah, and also
that's a big thing, because you're from two completely different worlds.
Also, they might I didn't really have this problem, but some people, they might suffer from missing their home, so they feel like they compromise too much.
Homesick.
So later on that might hindering the relationship, because when the other areas relationship is not working properly, then you thought to yourself, well, is it really worth it that I actually stay here for this family, right? People might think like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, so...
And like, you might think to yourself, well, if I just went back home and found somebody local to me,
yeah, well,
maybe it would work out better. Like, you've got to be, if you're going to live with them, you've got to be away from your family too. Like, wow, there's a lot of commitments to moving country, you know.
Yeah.
Moving country on its own is its own separate issue. But if you're doing that because of your partner, it makes it more difficult.
And also really is, there are culture difference. I would have to say, since I've been with you, my English has gone a lot better. Like basically,
it was good. It was good before.
Went on daily. But the thing is, I realized my English has become really good because I start to, you know, like when the beginning of our relationship we fight it a little bit.
Hey, you know this microphone? It smells really good.
It's gross. Then one day I realized actually I speak quite fluently when I
your English is good.
When we argue.
When you argue, we don't argue.
No, like in the beginning.
Yeah, we don't really argue, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, then I realized it actually has gone better, but
I prefer to call them heated
point.
Exchanges.
That's not the main point. The main point is I've heard stories about like my mom's colleagues, their son or daughter, they with a white person. You know, whether it's from America or it's from England or somewhere else. And this person, he come to China with a girl, but he wouldn't try any of the Chinese food. He only eat, you know, like he stayed in China for 2 weeks. Then when he drink water, he have to go to buy bottled water.
Yeah.
And when he eat food, he refuse to use chopsticks. And not just that, he hates Chinese food.
Wow.
He live off milk and bread for 2 weeks. That's all he eats.
Hey, you know what you're adding into this? Another dimension. The other dimension is food differences.
Yeah, there are a lot of differences.
Not only have you got distance and family
and language
and your own understanding, you've got language, you've got food, you've got culture. Oh my goodness, there's so many things.
And for language is like, you know, even I speak language, but I grew up in China. So my mindset, like the way I think, automatically, very deeply, that I'm more close to the Chinese people.
It's your mother tongue.
Yeah. So I would speak English in the Chinese way. You know, like how would I speak Chinese? I would speak English similar.
Yeah, but the thing is, you got to consider, right? Like, I'll give you an example about us because we can't talk necessarily for other people.
Yeah.
But like for our relationship, what works for us is, it seems like Chinese is quite a direct language.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want something, you say, I want that.
Yeah.
But in English, we normally say,
could you,
please, oh, thank you. Would you be so nice too? And then ask what it is you want.
I remember once we went out with somebody and, you know, before we left the restaurant, I said to you, "I'll pick up my bag," like that.
Yeah.
And she freaked out. She said, "What? How can you speak to him like that?"
Yeah.
Because they would say, "Could you, honey, could you pick up my bag?"
Yeah, but let me
please?
just run this past you guys, okay? If you're watching this video, I'm more of a raw guy. So basically, what that means is, not cooked at all. Do you see what I mean? Maybe slightly seared on the edges, right?
Right. Okay.
And the searedness is culturized.
It's a very rare type of steak.
Culturized. Is that the right word, James? Culturized.
No, civilized maybe.
Civilized. Yeah, I'm only slightly civilized. Okay.
Slightly.
I'm mostly animal, partially civilized. Okay.
Yeah.
So what it means is when I say to Ricky, I don't say, "Oh, would you please, Ricky, do me a favor?" and then ask the question, "Make me a cup of tea." I just say to Ricky, "Make me a cup of tea, woman." Yeah. And then Ricky runs along and gets me a cup of tea because that's very nice. But if Ricky wants a cup of tea, what does she say? make me a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I'll make her a cup of tea. So we talk to each other without all the formalities and all the rubbish that's an accessory, really. Yeah. Because a lot of the time you don't
Not
really
much
need that.
seasoning.
I think if your relationship's going well and you have an understanding, like you don't really need all those formalities.
Yeah, you just won't feel offended.
It's nice.
Maybe I secretly do.
Maybe she'll make me a cup of tea and I'll say thank you, because I do appreciate that she's made me a cup of tea. But like, you don't have to necessarily. She should know that the appreciation comes from your heart, not from your words. Yeah. So if you do get with a partner who's a bit more blunt with their words, don't necessarily take that they're being rude to you. Like, think about it and think about their culture and think about the formulation of their language. I'm giving you this as my mindset into what Ricky's going through. Yeah. Is that not necessarily she might approach me and say something that I'd initially be like, whoa, that's quite blunt. Maybe she's being rude. But you got to take your ego away and think, is she really? And don't worry about it. So I've adapted to it. She's adapted to me. And we deal with each other we've built up a good rapport over the years. So I would suggest you just try and work with each other and be patient with each other and try and be understanding. And if you're prepared to embrace these differences, then so be it. But if you've got a nice, secure family back home where you are, and they've got a nice, secure family in their country, you got some big decisions coming up. So I would consider you take those decisions very seriously.
Yeah, because it's for your life, isn't it?
Our families are not the most stable families. So because of that, it was easier for us to bond.
Yeah, our own little family is more stable. Yeah.
So you got to consider. I mean, me and Ricky come from a similar kind of background. When I'm talking about similar kind of background, I mean family structure. So our family structures were quite similar in damaging ways, but it's funny how me and her met and we bonded. So sometimes you bond with somebody, but you may bond through your damage and through your own insecurities.
Yeah.
So you got to consider, is this person damaging like I am? And we've helped each other to resolve these issues through our relationship. But
day by day, isn't it?
It may be that you might meet somebody who's quite a damaging person. You might also be, and then you're going to just go into this relationship of damage and hurt and pain, and it's not necessary. I would say try and find somebody who's more stable. Try and find yourself a good partner. Don't just settle for somebody because you found them and you like them initially. Calculate it and work out, is this person really beneficial for me? I have to come across these obstacles. A lot of people just run into a relationship.
Don't chase feelings too much. Like if they run in the relationship because they want that secure feeling, or they want the feeling of they've got companionship.
Feelings are very temporary.
If it's a long-term relationship,
in 20 years' time, those feelings will have died more than likely. So you're going to have to create new feelings. So I would suggest, what would you suggest?
I would suggest you you got to decide if you want this relationship or not. If you want it, then make a decision that you're going to stick with it. But at the same time, the other person have to have the same goal. That they have to want to make this relationship work as well. And after that, just don't be that selfish. When things arises like, the difficulties, the challenging bit, then you got to sit down and talk about what the other person need. You exchange words in a loving way.
Wow.
Not just think about this is what I want. I want to get what I want. But this person you love, if you love them, you got to worry about what they want as well.
Just stay single. So that's the advice. If you want to go into an interrelational, stay single. Don't bother. Just pursue your studies and your career and stay single. Yeah,
that's not good advice.
Hey, if they're entering into the relationship, then fair enough. They've already entered it, and whatever, they're getting married, then it's already too late, isn't it?
Right.
So what I'm saying is, stay single. If I had the decision, I would still marry Ricky again, innit? Because that's how I've decided to live my life. But if you're just listening to it and you're not sure whether you really want to do it and all that, stay single until
if you're not sure,
made
then
the decision
then
that definitely I want to be married. You meet a girl that you're interested in, you definitely want to be married to her, then do it. Otherwise, just stay single. What are you trying to force yourself into this relationship for? Is it so that you can satisfy your parents? Is it so that you can make more money by your combined incomes into the household? What is it that you're trying to get married for? What, are you lonely? Do you see what I mean?
Lonely still is not a good enough.
Lonely's not good enough. Go find some friends.
To get married, yeah.
Go find an activity.
Yeah.
Go take up yoga.
Yoga?
Or golf.
Golf.
or Pilates
Right, okay.
or Laser Quest Championships.
With that 3-4 years old, I want to play with you. Everybody's
Escalator
3 years
diving.
old apart from
I don't know.
you.
Like you can go to the Trafford Centre. You don't know what the Trafford. You can go to a big mall where they've got the escalators that go down. Take a snowboard and snowboard down them. Like there's so many things you can do.
Yeah.
Why is it that you're so lonely, you're so fragile that your soul is about to crumble and crack inside that you need a girlfriend right now
Oh, boyfriend.
or boyfriend right now? You're desperate. You're a desperate loser. Don't do any of that. Stay single. Stay single for the time being until you figure out
Yeah,
where
build
he
yourself up, concentrating on being a better, stronger person. You know, his words is not the prettiest word.
I told you about
but
the
actually
raw
think
with
about
a little bit
what you
seared.
say.
That's it. It's mostly good tender meat, okay? But it just, some people are not that.
Bleeding a little bit.
It's like, yeah, you don't really want to chew into it because it's like a little, it's not cooked. It probably won't cause any like stomach illnesses. But like, if you get my illustration, it's actually quite a good one. Quite good.
Okay, we'll stop here now.
I think we
Please
should-
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Thank you for tuning into the video. If you are interested in getting involved with us and you're in the Manchester area, drop us some emails. Either way, we've got an email address with the Bentleys@gmail.com. If you have any questions or topics you want some advice on, I'm sure we can help with that.
Yeah,
and
please
also,
email us.
You have to be very specific. Put a title in there, and put some information about yourself. And also put in the question,
Backgrounds.
what is the question? We need to know what the question is, okay? Because if you're not giving a question, how are we going to give a response? All right? With the Bentleys@gmail.com. And if you're really not interested, email it to that one. Then I can't really help unless you want to put it in the comments below.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
All the best. Bye-bye.
All the best. Bye-bye.